and giving for your kindness I made debt to you, and I never could have come this far without you. For everything you've done, you know I'm bound to thank you for it. La 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 la
I'll show it to you afterwards. I'm just getting ready to start, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am your newly, freshly installed just hours ago. I love you all so much. I am the Reverend Christine Dance, your formally installed minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. I use the pronouns she, her, and it is my honor to lead service this morning with my dear friend and colleague, Janet Onnie.
You look installed.
I look installed. I look different, right? Don't I look different? Yeah, I feel different. My heart is so full. My heart is so, so full from yesterday, and yours are too. I am so thrilled. What an evening we had, what an evening. I heard so many people said they cried, they laughed, they were shocked, they were, all the things happened. So many special thanks to everyone who made this happen. I want to give a special shout out to Melissa Schwartz and Des Amade, who made that amazing spread, and I think you're getting more of it today. My amazing staff who did everything, and just everyone who had a role in this. It was a very, very special day. We have another special morning today where we get to celebrate some very special people. And as I said, I get the honor to do it with Reverend Janet Onnie. I had the great honor of being her ministerial intern for a year. And I'm thrilled that she came back to celebrate, although her ticket originally was for March of 2020. We are also thrilled to welcome back to UUCP our amazing musicians, Nicole Pesky and Renee Grant-Patrick. Welcome back. A very special welcome for those of you who are joining us for the first time or the first and second time. We give a very special love to you. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and knowing that issues of justice and equity shape everything we do. We welcome you, whatever your religious background. We welcome you, whatever identity you have, however you define your family. We are so glad you are here. A very, very special hello, Zoom people. Can we all turn and give some special love to our folks on Zoom, knowing that we are all one congregation, no matter where we are coming in from today. We love you, our Zoomers. And now I turn it over to Reverend Janet for our opening words.
To sing, to dance, to be joy-filled, these are the acts of a fearless people deeply committed to the call of love. We gathered this morning to celebrate our pledge to dedicate ourselves to the call of ministry, the call of caring for others. We gather to joyfully affirm and promote our care of each other, our care for all others in and beyond our community, and the care for all life that share the planet that we call home. We gather to delight the holy with our love.
I invite my beautiful wife to come up and light our chalice. Join me as we say the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship. Thus do we covenant.
The East, I love the West, the North and South, they're both the best. I'll only go there as a guest, 'cause I love being here with you. I love the sea, I love the shore, I love the rocks, but what is more, with Nicole it's never a bore. I love being here with you, singing in the shower, laughing by the hour. Life is such a breezy game. I love all kinds of weather, as long as we're together. I love to hear you say my name. I love good wine and fine cuisine, and candlelight, I dig the scene. Oh, but baby, if you know what I mean, I love being here with you. By Fred Astaire, Randall's eyes, your Renner's hair. I gotta say it's only fair. We love being here with you. George Grant, Doris Day, the other charm takes me away. Oh, but don't get me wrong, how do you say I love being here with you? You know, Basie's bands are swinging. I love Ellis singing. There's something else you know. They know how to swing it. She knows how to sing it. They wind it up and let it go. I love the thrill of a New York show. Peggy Lee kissed Dorathy's nose. I gotta say before I close, we love being here with you. Yeah, we love with you. Love being here with you.
Yeah, I think we love being here with you more. Woo. And I want to, hi Felix, do you want to help me with announcements? I'm going to put you on the spot. You want to come over and see what it looks like from here? Yeah, do you? Come here. So our space is welcome to all children. Do you want to come up and help me? I'd have to pick you up. Do you want me to? Okay. Our space is welcome to all and in every way, however you need to wiggle and move, and this is Felix. We also have children's activities in the back. I want to let you know about activities going on here at UUCP. You can find out everything on our on our website, phoenixuu.org, or our weekly Compass newsletter. So you can see faces down here. Isn't that cool? Our Whole Lives is UUCP's amazing lifespan sexuality and health programs. You can see we love healthy sexuality by how we opened our installation yesterday. Do you want to get down? You want to go down? Go over there? Okay. Go see. Thank you for visiting me. Our Whole Lives creates amazing lifespan sexuality and health programs that helps participants make informed and responsible decisions about their relationships, their sexual health, and behavior. There is a meeting on Zoom on Monday, September 19th. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. You can email owl@phoenixuu for more details. It's also all on the website and in Compass. Also in our children's ministry, UUCP Navigators is excited to announce our fall meeting schedule. Join us on Monday, September 26th at 6:30 on Zoom for our second meeting. In addition to our online programming, we're going to be hosting a few in-person events this fall and winter. Learn more on the UUCP website or email navigators@phoenixuu.org. And today, starting today, is the Forgiveness Adult class. We have often heard that we should forgive those who have harmed us. But what is forgiveness really? Does forgiveness have a dark side? And if we wanted to forgive, how would we even do it? You can register for the class on the website, but it is starting today. And if you haven't thought about this, or if you were on the edge, it's going to be a phenomenal class taught by two of the most amazing folks in our congregation. Every Sunday is a Share the Plate offering. We split all undesignated funds from the offering 50-50 with a different organization each month. Our Share the Plate recipient for September is the Arizona Food Bank Network. It is designated for its programs that bring fresh produce to food banks. It is a coalition of 5 different food banks and almost 1,000 food pantries and agencies working together to address hunger. They are raising awareness, they are working with the food banks, they are assessing the entire needs of the Arizona area, and they work with government agencies, community organizations, schools, and others to create a hunger-free Arizona. We hope that you will consider giving generously to this. You can text, you can donate through the website, you can send a check, you can put money in the boxes, you can scan a QR code. We have more ways for you to donate than you could possibly imagine. We live out our values of our community by donating to our community and to that of our partner. Thank you so much for your generosity. Normally a worship associate's doing it and then the minister comes up, and this is still me. Are there kids? Children? Children, would you like to come up? We've got something for you. Children, there we go. I got that. Come on up. Absolutely. Wonderful. And you guys can sit on the steps or something. We're going to have a little conversation, and then we're going to invite a special guest up. Hint, Manuel, that's you. So hi, everyone. Okay, so I have a question for you. Oh, we've still got some more. Hi, honey. So I have a question for you. Raise your hand if you like cleaning your room. Do you like cleaning your room? Yeah? Yeah? What do you like about it, Gia? My mom helps me. That's awesome. That's very cool. Gita. Yeah, that's awesome. And you said maybe you like it. What do you like or not like about it? That's us too. I don't like cleaning my room, but I like having a clean room, right? Okay, so who does the most cleaning in your family? So you're pointing to your mom. She does a lot of cleaning here at UUCP too. And who does the most cleaning in your family? Your mom and your dad? Great. Huh? Your whole family. That's wonderful. That's wonderful that it's shared. Who does the most cleaning in your family? Papa? Okay. My mom and my grandma. Wonderful. So do you all know whose job it is to clean UUCP? All of us is a very good answer. That is a very, very good answer. There is somebody whose job it is to clean UUCP. And do you know what? His name is Manuel. You're going to meet him in a second. And do you know, can we guess how long he's been doing it? Don't tell away. 10 years? 10 years? Okay, you think 10 years? You think higher or lower? Higher? What do you think it might be? Like, what number would you guess? 20 years? It's higher. How many do you think? Not lower than 35. 30. 30 years, Manuel Gomez. Manuel, would you like to come forward, please? Manuel has been working at UUCP since, now I have to figure out, 1992. Is that correct? And I would like to recognize Manuel's family, who's here too. Would you please stand up? Yes. Oh. So Manuel, you have been taking care of our home for 30 years. You have seen a lot of us, a lot of ministers, a lot of administrators come and go. You have seen different school directors, different bosses. You've seen the facility change and grow. You've seen rodents and snakes. Yes, you've seen all the things break. You have seen all of what happens in this building and have cared for us so wonderfully. You are always cheerful, no matter what kind of messes we have left for you. I love seeing your smile and your kindness. Your care of our place transcends your work. It makes us feel cared for and adds to the loving energy of this place. We are so grateful for you, and you are so special to us. We have given you a plaque, a certificate of appreciation, and then we have given an abundant check for you to go and spend however you want, hopefully on something fun. And we are so grateful for you and to your family. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for helping us honor Manuel and thinking about who does the cleaning, why it's important, and how we can honor ministry in a lot of different ways, including cleaning. So thank you very much. There will be children's ministry programs after service. So thanks for joining me.
You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always stay around you. Yeah, you are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay in my heart. I feel like this is the beginning. Though I've loved you for a million years, and if I felt our love was ending, I'd find myself drowning in my own tears. Baby, you are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always stay around you. You are the apple of my eyes. Forever you'll stay right here in my heart. You must have known that I was lonely, yeah, because you came to my rescue. I know that this must be heaven. How could so much love be inside of you? Yeah. You are the sunshine of my life. That is why I'll always stay around you. Yeah. You are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay right here in my heart. Yeah, you are the sunshine of my life. My only sunshine. Ooh, you make me happy when skies are gray. You are the sunshine of my life, the sunshine of my life. Oh yeah, sunshine of my life. Thank you so much.
Wow. So it is a full morning this morning with all kinds of fun and more rituals. I would like to invite Reverend Patrice Curtis, and our president of our board, Bunny Hodis, up. So we have another person to celebrate this morning. At the congregational meeting this past June, this congregation voted to have Reverend Patrice Curtis as our affiliated minister. Reverend Patrice uses they and she pronouns and currently serves as our Unitarian Universalist Association as the Transformational Interim Ministries Director, serving congregations and ministers who are doing the sacred work of interim ministry. We are so lucky. I am so lucky that Reverend Patrice chose to affiliate with UUCP. Affiliated ministers are unique because in this relationship we recognize Reverend Patrice as a UU minister, but we also recognize that Reverend Patrice has their own ministry outside of UUCP. As a part of our covenant, Reverend Patrice will preach at UUCP a few times a year. Will also be here to support me for key rites of passages. And in addition, Patrice will likely lead some programming this year. We already know that they're leading a Blue Holiday season support group in November and December, which I know is going to be very necessary in our community. Yes. And I would like to quickly recognize Patrice's spouse, wife, Nancy. Nancy, if we heard, yeah. We heard a lot yesterday about the importance of spouses on our ministerial journeys, and Nancy, you're the best. It's very wonderful to be friends with you. Bunny, as our president of the board, will you join as we make this relationship formal?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on up here, sorry. Okay. Reverend Patrice Curtis, we are thrilled to have you as our affiliated minister. We affirm your ministry to our denomination, and we recognize your role as an esteemed minister in our midst. We promise to support you, and we look forward to learning more from you, about you, learning from you, and being in relationship with you.
Patrice, you are a cherished colleague of mine. I am thrilled to have you affiliated with UUCP. I vow to uphold our covenant, respecting your boundaries and supporting your ministry in all of the ways that I can. I look forward to the ways that we can partner, be dangerous together, and support this congregation and our wider UU faith.
Members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix, will you stand here in person and at home as you are able? We get to do this again. Do you, the members of UUCP, affirm Reverend Patrice Curtis as an affiliated minister of our congregation? Will you support and respect them as a UU minister and a valued contributor to our UUCP family? If so, say, we do.
We do.
We do.
Reverend Christine, Bonnie, members and friends of UUCP. Oh, yes. Please be seated. I've been overcome with the open-hearted welcome that I have received from this congregation. You are and always will be the first congregation for me as an affiliate minister. Reverend Christine, you are a wonderful colleague. I know we're going to get into trouble. There's no doubt about it. You're also a colleague that I deeply respect. And who knew that when we met in Florida that we would be here, both of us, as the called, settled, installed minister of UUCP. I will respect your boundaries and I will uphold your ministry here. Bunny, UUCP members and friends, my current ministry is with Unitarian Universalist Association, which is our denominational headquarters. Like most of UUA staff, I am a remote worker. Very few of our folks actually work and live in Boston. We are scattered throughout the United States, just as our congregations are scattered throughout the United States. So you might not, and probably not, will see me regularly at UUCP, but I look forward to being here whenever I am called. And my heart hopes that we will build connections over time, and I will offer a spirit of service to you. So gently, I enter into this covenanted ministry with you, and gratefully, I am thrilled that you have chosen me as your affiliate minister. Thank you.
Let us celebrate and give Patrice a round of applause and welcome her to UUCP. Y'all, I don't think you understand how lucky we are, really. Maybe you do. It is the time of the joys, for the joys and sorrows of our community. It is good to share what is on our hearts and on our minds with each other, to share our burdens, to celebrate our joys. Folks, I invite you to write joys and sorrows in the chat. Please put your name up front so I can know who you are. I've got a couple here. The joys and sorrows are on the back. While they are writing, I do want to mention a few of them that I know about in our community. Debbie Westwood is in England dealing with some challenging times as she helps her parents move into a care home, managing their finances and their health while she is a US citizen and they are British citizens. She would appreciate all the light and love the community can spare. And what I would say as a personal privilege is if you are sending the love, maybe send her a text and let her know that. I want to let you know that Sally Boyd is still in the Friendship Villages Health Center and would love visitors, calls, gifts, cards, as she gets the energy both emotionally, spiritually, and physically to get better back to her assisted living place. From our folks on Zoom, Bill and Joan say, a joy at having spent a week in a stern wheeler in Mississippi. How cool. Sorrow that we caught COVID and are isolating a week in the Twin Cities and will have to spend another week back at home before we can come out in public. Oh dear, I hope it was a good vacation. Ann Lackey, sorrow that COVID finally caught up with me. A joy that has been mild and I seem to be recovering quickly. Much love to you, Anne, and heal fast. From Ed Cernak, a joy, Bonnie returns from Scotland. Oh, thank you, Jira. Bonnie returns from Scotland around 5:30 this afternoon. Good, the universe will be back in order. We appreciate that. Kathy Kopak says, sad to miss activities at home with daughter Jen, who has COVID. Just want to remind you all that this is not over, right? Yeah. It is not over. From Amy Miskell, joy, I am grateful for this congregation still has Zoom as an option for members and friends, and so nice to see so many members and friends of Reverend Christine's visiting us on yesterday afternoon. Yeah, I think half of my sorority class was there. It was really awesome. A sorrow from Donna Talbot. A young man is dying from bone cancer and his mom won't let him go. She needs the power to let him go. From Karen Rosner, I was able to enjoy a friend visiting from North Carolina and helped me celebrate my birthday yet last Saturday. And a sorrow from Andrea Burning. Our home lost our beloved pet cat this weekend. That is always difficult. Jira, do you want to raise your hand? Jira says, a joy, it's my birthday on September 14th. It was my birthday. Happy birthday, Jira. From Ann Riley, I think I saw Ann right over there. I am so grateful that I was part of the collective joy of Saturday's installation celebration. So was I. I was glad you were there. And the Stevenson Brown family have lit a candle of honor of the life of Keith Stevenson, father and grandfather to Shelley, Keith, Chloe, and Leo, who died Wednesday at the age of 93. He is so loved and missed. And I got the opportunity to meet the Reverend Stevenson, who was a beautiful, beautiful soul. I'm so glad I got to know him. Our hearts are with you and your family, Shelley. And one final online. Oh, two finals. Amy Miskell says, I am 60 now. My birthday was this week. And the Lifshitz family wishes Johnny a happy birthday this past Wednesday. So happy birthdays all around. So I would, with all of that said, I know there is so much more that is left unsaid. Can we just give some hearts to each other, representing the love and care that we share? Those online, please give some love back. Feeling our care transcend across the internet and across space. May it be so. Meditation is from Reverend Janet Onnie.
As we enter into the silence, I invite you to adjust yourselves to a comfortable position. Let gravity have its way with you. Become aware of your own breath and match it with your neighbor's breath. As we join our hearts and our breaths in the quiet, hear the words of Matthew Rosen. If another strains to breathe, may our voices be the gentle rise and fall. If another chokes on tears, may our voices be an opening to hope. If another has forgotten, may our voices be a memory upwelling. If another is adrift, may our voices be the calling of community. I will sound the singing bowl to lead us into the silence.
We have another very special anniversary to celebrate today. One of our members, although he notified me that he wasn't a member, but now he's going to be a member. Did you want me to make that official, Walt? Because I called him a member and he said he wasn't a member, and then I think he's like, okay, I'm ready to be a member, and now you're going to be a member, and we're thrilled. But has a very, very special anniversary to celebrate, and we thought it very fitting to celebrate it this weekend when we are talking about ministry. The Reverend Dr. Walt Weider is celebrating the 50th anniversary of his ordination as a Unitarian Universalist minister. Walt has served our denomination in so many congregations across the country, most recently serving in our congregation in Surprise, Arizona, right here in the Valley, where you are the minister emerita, correct, Walt? Yeah. Instead of touting all of his many accomplishments, we would like Walt to speak for himself in this 10-minute video that he recorded for the Unitarian Universalist Minister Association, where he was recognized for his 50 years of service this summer. Please sit back and enjoy the words of Reverend Dr. Walt Weider.
I have about 10 minutes to share something of 50 years of ministry. Let's see, about 5 years per minute. Nearly as fast as it seems to have gone by. I've always followed my nose without much of a long-term plan. I followed my interests and what the world put in front of me. I've been incredibly lucky. I've served congregations in West Texas, Philadelphia, practically in the West, according to some New England colleagues, Central Texas and Arizona, all fair share congregations. My first call was El Paso, Texas. Actually, Las Cruces, El Paso for the first year. The next 6 years, I was full-time in El Paso. My nearest UU colleague was in Albuquerque, the next nearest in Denver. I learned my craft isolated and absent an internship. Let's throw him in the deep end of the pool and see what happens. Seems to have been the Department of Ministry's plan. It turns out I could, after a fashion, swim. While in El Paso, I served as chair of the local Planned Parenthood, on the National Religious Affairs Committee at Planned Parenthood, asked me about lunch with Isaac Asimov, and chair of the local ACLU. Draft counseling in the shadow of Fort Bliss, in a county that had never granted anyone CO status, was interesting. I got to fly a sailplane over the West Texas desert. My next congregation was in Philadelphia. The Unitarian Universalist Church of the Restoration was one of the very few UU congregations with a significant African-American population, thanks to Rudy Gelsey. Having attended an HBC, historically black college, for a year following Vista, I was significantly aware of my ignorance of black cultures, plural, to mostly avoid gross offense. Restoration blessed me with nearby colleagues. After the isolation of West Texas, I now couldn't swing a cat without hitting a colleague. Brad Greeley, Mark Lang, Brian Kopke, Lee Barker, and Bill Gardner were blessings beyond the telling. I became a member of Freighters of the Wayside Inn. I also joined an IRB at Fox Chase Cancer Center. It was in Philadelphia that my semi-foster daughter, Eugenia Kay, entered and remains in my life. My marriage ended my last year in Philadelphia. I left Philadelphia to return to Texas. The Plano congregation, just north of Dallas, had to deal with the AIDS crisis in the midst of widespread community denial and ignorance. The congregation formed 2 AIDS care teams. I served on my second IRB, this one on animal research. I met Janet, and on a Christmas Eve afternoon, Laurel Holman married us. I was in Plano for 7 wonderful years. A colleague once reminded me that I had been there 8 years. What's your point? I asked. I resigned the Plano pulpit and fled to the D-Min program at SMU and a chaplain's residency at Children's Hospital in Dallas. Following the residency, I was called to the UU Church of the Sun Cities. Now, surprise. The surprised congregation, deciding I was probably going to work out, embarked on a plan for a new building. They also began a children's program. During my 16 years as senior minister, I was given the opportunity to supervise 4 interns. Terry Sims, Adam Robersmith, Patty Willis, and Lisa McDaniel Hutchins. The congregation also allowed me to spend 8 years on the General Assembly Planning Committee, the last 2 as chair. The ministry has been a gift, dragging me into the world against my natural bent, which would be to read and ponder. Ministry has given me fodder for thought and time and urging to try and put varied experiences into words and into some semblance of a worldview. It has forced me to integrate the joy of nature, friendships, of love, with the experiences of loss, betrayal, and powerlessness. It is all part of the same world. Spiritual practice can be quite idiosyncratic. For myself, I would claim that writing sermons was a spiritual practice, as is drawing now. Sermon writing and delivery had a regular ebb and flow, involving almost ritual use of space and time. It happened, for all intents and purposes, every week and was, for me, intentionally spiritual work. The means are familiar to any mystic: concentration, sleep deprivation, drugs, caffeine for those who wonder, and yes, nicotine, all of the traditional routes to mystical experience. And when I was really cooking, it lifted me up and dragged me to the very edge of self and the world and said, look, try and understand. Tell people why they should care. Drawing does much the same thing: private labor and then public sharing. And so, I have been and am absolutely committed to telling the truth, pure and complicated. That such a bar is impossibly high is one of the ironies of ministry that I've always appreciated. Even as I say it, it sounds impossibly pretentious, but there you are. I've always liked Kurt Vonnegut's description of all of us as like cuckoo clocks in hell. Gears bent with randomly stripped cogs torn off by experience, ignorance, stupidity, education, and lack of education. Keeping time, sometimes losing a second or a minute, jumping ahead 2 minutes and then stopping, only to start again. Vonnegut did not claim that he had escaped that damage. He did claim with some pride that he had never intentionally torn off a cog, saying, "Here is a fact I can do without." Good for him. Good for me, too. Our job as spiritual beings is to try and respond to a world imperfectly known and on its face imperfect with gratitude, generosity, and humility. It's all right. I know you can't do it. Me either. What do I recommend in the face of this complex, known and unknowable world? Not an answer, but a response. These 3. Laughter, love, and style. Laughter. I've said my sense of humor has gotten me out of almost as much trouble as it has gotten me into. It's almost a wash. It involves the ability to look at ourselves and others as if standing next to God himself and punching him on the arm saying, "Did you see that?" Love. The willingness to invest beyond mere self. For me, liberal religion in this flawed institutional form. And style. The manner in which one greets inevitable defeat. May your ministries be blessed. May you all Be blessed.
Walt, will you join me up here, please? On behalf of this congregation, I am so honored to call you a colleague. It is my great honor to thank you for your 50 years of service and ministry to this denomination, to all of the people you have cared for your fight for civil rights, for abortion rights, so sorry you're needing to do that again, for liberal religion, for the fight for AIDS recognition, and all that we value. If I can have a moment of personal privilege, it has been a particular joy to build a relationship with you for me personally. As a new minister, it has been a pleasure to learn from you, to have your recognition of me as a colleague and my recognition for all of what you have done. I love hearing your experiences, and I have appreciated how intensely you've had my back. I am pleased to be following in the footsteps such as yours, and I thank you for your collegiality and your friendship. Can we show our appreciation for the Reverend Dr. Walt Weider, please?
Not the least, but the most recent of blessings is getting to know you. I am looking forward to the next however long.
However long, may it be long. Thank you so much. And Janet, thank you for all of your care to our Walt. Recognition of spouses, we appreciate it.
Wherever you go, wherever you may wander in your life, surely you know I always want to be there, just holding your hand and standing by to catch you when you fall, seeing you through in everything that you do. Let me be there in your morning, let me be there in your life. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right. Yeah. Let me take you to that wonderland that only two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. Let me be there in your morning, I want to be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right, yeah. Let me take you to that wonderland that only two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. Let me be there in your morning, let me be there in your night. Let me change whatever's wrong and make it right. Let me take you to that wonderland that only two can share. All I ask you is let me be there. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You've heard a lot about ministry lately, and you're not quite finished. You would, think with all the preparation involved in becoming a Unitarian Universalist minister, every minister and every congregation would thrive. While I love your optimism, you would be wrong. The relationships within and without the congregation is where the education truly begins. In any other profession, lawyers, doctors say, there are fairly clear outcomes. The client is punished or freed. The patient gets better or not. Teaching is a bit more ambiguous. The students may pass a test, but it's hard to tell whether or not the lesson will stick. Ministry is the only profession I can think about where you answer an indescribable call, and then, in the full view of people who have placed their trust in you, you make mistakes. Your mistakes are public. So you do your best because you are driven by this call to love, to care, to make a difference. And often it feels like it isn't good enough. Witnessing the highs and the lows of humanity is really humiliating and humbling. It's confusing. I remember leaving someone's home after a dialogue about a very convoluted situation, and I was so rattled that I had to pull into a McDonald's parking lot and roll up my windows, and I laughed and I cried so hysterically that some kind soul tapped on the window to ask if they should call someone. Have you ever had that experience, Christine?
I mean, so often, so often. Unlike doctors and lawyers, I don't know what people are going to want to talk to when they come into my office. I have no idea what will happen. I'm often deeply humbled by what people share with me, and sometimes surprised. We are witness to folks' greatest moments, and more often, their really most awful times. And also, unlike doctors and lawyers, we are not there to fix as much as we want to. We are just there to accompany them. It can really feel helpless sometimes. So tell me, Janet, what was your best day or your best experience?
Oh, gosh, there were so many of them. But there was one time when the congregation was really struggling with their identity and why they were there, and they finally came upon the idea of being a way station. This was in Florida, where people come and go with astonishing regularity. There's no consistency at all. And so how to do church in a really non-traditional way was a struggle for them. And to come upon the idea that what they were there to do was to be a way station just changed everything. The board just came to this epiphany, and it was absolutely electric.
So cool.
It was just so cool. And I do not usually describe board meetings as being very cool.
So I can't ever say that I have a best day, because that would be, but there is one experience that I think it's just epitome for me, is there was one day at a meeting, there was somebody in a group who was really trying to figure out why I was saying we should use our pronouns before. Like, why, what are we doing this for? I don't understand, and not just saying no, but really asking engaged questions. But month after month, it was still like, I don't really understand why we're doing this. And the group kept continuing, and then one day, on a very unrelated subject, I got an email from this person, and at the bottom, it had their name and their pronouns. And it felt so good.
Oh, that sounds great.
So what about a worst experience?
Oh.
Because it's not all roses.
No, it is definitely not all roses. When I started my first ministry, my first church, half the congregation left over an identity conflict. Were we a lecture series with a brunch component, or were we a religious community? And with a newly minted minister, and what did that mean? What did that mean? So I hadn't been aware that this was an issue when I interviewed. So for 3 years, I felt like a failure. And it makes me sad, even though I heard that ministers weren't supposed to show their feelings. But it was sad, and it has taken me a while to understand that I didn't understand what the underlying issue was. Yeah.
Yeah, so ministers not showing their feelings.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here. I show my feelings all so much. So ministry is such a weird profession. It really is. I make it a point not to tell anyone that I'm a minister when we go out to social gatherings, because all of a sudden they stop, and then they'll stop swearing, or they'll apologize for swearing, and they'll think about how they're dressed, or what they've said to me. So instead, if you ask me what I do at a first gathering, I work in HR for a nonprofit. It's not a total lie, right? It's not a total lie. It seems to satisfy them, and it's not interesting enough that they really want to go into it further. It is one of the reasons why minister colleagues are so important to us. They are the ones who really understand what this is, and I promise you, at minister gatherings, we swear a lot. So what have you learned from colleagues?
Well, 3 things, actually, and Reverend Katie Korb, who was my intern supervisor, and we know very well who she is, she told me 2 things. She said, first of all, it's not about you. It's not about you, and even when it seems like it's about you, it's really not about you. And the corollary to that was that the presenting issue is never the issue. So those were those 2 things that guided me in the earlier days, but the latest, and I think the greatest, was from Reverend Kathy Schmitz in Orlando. Whenever she is confronted with a question, a problem, a situation that she doesn't have an immediate response to, or at least something that's appropriate,
You could say out loud.
she says, let me think about that.
I love that.
That has saved so many situations where you're just screaming inside.
I feel like you just gave away my secret with these folks. So every time I go, that will be part of it. So I can't even tell you about how important colleagues were for me in the pandemic. Without them, there would be a constant feeling of, am I just losing my mind? Oh, wait, you're feeling this too? Okay, cool. Because it felt like we were a cast on a desert island with no manual of how to do this, and we were all figuring it out together. But ministry is changing a lot as well. I think new ministers, and this has been fun to talk about with Walt, have a different view of justice, have a different view of other things, but as part of justice, we are understanding that some of that is about being whole, flawed people as we are as ministers, showing our whole selves. We are wanting to show and be seen as our full selves, warts and all. And I think that's a refreshing model for everyone to see.
It is. Oh, I remember hearing something about ministerial presence, and I was pretty sure I didn't have it. Once early on, the regional lead asked me if I saw myself as God. And I thought about this, And I think what he was asking is, did I see myself as being in charge? Well, that was 20 years ago. Less than 24 hours ago, you were installed by this congregation. What would you say? Are you in charge?
I am so not in charge. You all think I'm in charge. I don't think I'm in charge. I was a facilitator in a previous profession, and I really still see myself as a facilitator. Instead of making products and services, though, we are facilitating the process of changing our hearts and changing this world. I'm not telling you to do that. We are choosing to do that together. Where you go, I will go, beloveds. Changing the world and changing that hearts, it's something that's so much more meaningful to me than making products than I was. And I do think ministry is changing, but I still think it's as crucial as ever. Having a professional whose one job is to always call us to our best selves, to always point the way of how we can be better, how we can provide a beacon to the world of what we vision the world to be and what our society can be. I believe that that is a noble profession that should continue no matter what shape ministry takes.
Yeah, I keep reading about the secularization of the United States and the shortage of ordained ministers. And I do believe that we are in the middle of a hinge time. A time in history happens every 500 years when everything, absolutely everything changes. And we see these changes all around us, and the religious communities are not exempt from this. So I have come to believe that we need to emphasize the alternative definition of ministry, that the verb, one who cares for others. Now, this broader definition would include those who do the work but don't have the title. People like Manuel Gomez, who has cared for this building for 30 years, and the entire staff of the UU congregation of Phoenix, who share their talents and their skills in support of the members. And each individual member who attends to the needs of others. By leading an initiative in an ongoing team, caring for others who have life's challenges, advocating for those whose voices have been ignored. This congregation is full of ministers attending to the needs of others. But while the definition and shape of the institutions change, I believe, like you, Christine, that humans will always ask the big questions of meaning. And these questions are the purview of religion. And we will need people with the skill set to frame these questions in the context of the daily experience and to model how to critically think about them. We will need you to model how to listen. We will need you to model how to care. We will need you how to model how to respond to injustice. These people, these ministers, all of you, will sit in a circle of peers who have different but equally important skills, and together the ministers will vision the world of the future, and they will minister to that world. I can't think of any profession that uses an individual's creativity and imagination and integrity and compassion every hour of every day. It's an odd profession.
It is odd indeed.
It's a profession that has only one real requirement: to love. May it be so. Amen.
Stay right here. I just want to tell you I love you,
I love you.
and I'm
I'm
so
so
grateful
proud
for you.
Welcome.
I want to thank Manuel, thank you and your family for being here. Patrice and Nancy, thank you for being here and for your service. Walt and Janet, thank you for all of your years of ministry and service. And Janet, thank you for your ministry and your friendship. And a very special thank you to Renee and to Nicole. Oh my goodness, thank you. Immediately following service, we have children's ministry. We will meet in the Grove. If you go outside, Miss Katie will be escorting you to the Grove. We also have coffee line outside in person. I believe we have a lot of great extra food and beautiful tables set up, as well as online. Please, if you are outside, masks are optional. If you are inside, masks on, please. So now may we go out and serve the world, knowing that our collective ministry is love and justice and peace. May you all minister in your unique and loving ways. Go in peace and go in love.
Around the corner you can hear the sound. People dancing around the golden calf. Those who have not, those who have. On the billboards and I am in a woman named after my mother. My old man is another child that's grown old. He dreams with light and thunder was desire. This old house would have burnt down a long time ago.
Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. When I was a younger, I had me a cowboy. He wasn't much to look at, just a free rambling man. Now that was a long time, no matter how I try. These dreams go by like a broken down day. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. There's flies in the kitchen, I can hear them, they're buzzing. And I ain't done nothing since I